The best two words in sports. Game 7. These two teams, even at 3 apiece, have viciously hated each other throughout the course of this series. The Maple Leafs, with a 2-0 series lead at the beginning of this series, had the defending Stanley Cup champions at the stranglehold. The Panthers responded like the defending champs they are and won 3 straight to have a chance to move on to the conference final. Instead, the Leafs came out with heart and resilience and won Game 6 to force it back to Toronto for Game 7. Will the Maple Leafs finally be able to beat the demons of old in Game 7? Will it be the Panthers moving on to their 3rd straight conference final to continue their defense of the Stanley Cup? Game 7 is next.
The Florida Panthers have won their first cup. Listen and look at the sound of a Stanley Cup champion.
Welcome to Toronto, game number 7, the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs trying to defeat a reigning Stanley Cup champion since they last won the Stanley Cup in 1967. They're here at home at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario to try to get the job done. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Max. Delighted to have you with us here as is a game number 7 between the Florida Panthers and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Must-watch hockey for sure, as the defending Stanley Cup champions are looking to move on and face the Carolina Hurricanes. Toronto trying to go to their first conference final since 2002. They have not won the Stanley Cup since 1967. The last time they defeated a reigning Stanley Cup champion was back in 1967 when they beat the Montreal Canadiens in the Stanley Cup final. So a big game here for both sides of the equation. Paul Maurice is 5-0 in Game 7s. Looking to make it 6-0 for the Florida Panthers. That is the second, I believe, longest streak in NHL history, other than Pete DeBoer's 9-0 streak in Game 7s. As the Panthers in franchise history are 2-0 on the road in Game 7s. That's franchise history. As this is going to be a big one. This is the 201st Game 7 to ever be played in the National Hockey League. As it was in the first round, 2 Game 7s, the 199th and the 200th, with Colorado and Dallas and Winnipeg and St. Louis. This year, though, when the teams have scored first, they're 0-2, and that was Colorado and St. Louis having leads, and they've all gone. 2-goal leads in the third period are dangerous in Game 7s this year, as we've had some incredible comebacks in these Stanley Cup playoffs, Game 7, as we're moments away. We're less than 8 minutes away from Game 7, Florida, Toronto, as everyone is holding on to their seats. We're less than 7 minutes away. Sergei Bobrovsky, the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers, trying to continue. Joseph Wool, he has the lowest, or second lowest, in NHL postseason history with goals against allowed with a 1.13 in a minimum of 5 games played. He is second to Bishop, who had 1.11 goals against allowed, as in these playoffs he is 3-3-0 at 3.28 goals against allowed, a .893 save percentage, and a shutout of 1. Stolarz actually took the warm-ups tonight, and he's going to be backing up Joseph Wool if necessary, if Stolarz were to get in. We will see if these Toronto Maple Leafs can fight those demons that they have, all these curses that they've had in the past years in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Can they finally beat them and go to their first conference final since 2002? It'd be a rematch from the 2002 conference final with the Carolina Hurricanes, who are just watching this game and seeing how long this game goes, because they will probably want this game to go as far as it can, multiple overtimes, to tire out these Maple Leafs or Florida Panthers. We will see. There is a lineup change on Paul Maurice's squad. Jesper Boqvist is out and Evan Rodriguez is in. He's going to be on the top line with Barkov and Reinhart. We will see. And the Maple Leafs are going to need production from their big four, because their big four in the past couple of Game 7s have not produced. Matthews in 5 Game 7s, he has 0 goals, 3 assists. 0 goals for Marner, 2 assists in 5 games. Nylander with 2 goals, 4 points in 5 games. Tavares, 1 goal and 1 point in 3 game 7s. As Maple Leaf Square is going wild. At game number 7, the best thing in sports. As we're about to get underway with the national anthems of Canada and the USA, as the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario is ready for a jam-packed Game 7. That should be a very good one to watch and a very resilient and extravagant game to watch as well. And we will see how this will turn out for sure. As we welcome you in, everybody. We're just tuning in with us as the Stanley Cup playoffs second round comes to a close with this game, game number 7, a crucial game. Can the Panthers continue their defense of the Cup? Or will the Maple Leafs end the defense of the Cup of the Panthers and make it to their first conference final since 2002? Let's send you down to Mike Ross.
We now ask that you please rise if you're able to, remove your hats, and join Natalie Morris in the singing of our national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for
The 201st.
Welcome in, everybody. Game number 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. As we welcome you, everybody, this is just going to be the radio broadcast kind of style I hope to provide, and we can't show video at all, if you're just wondering. Sergei Bobrovsky and net 7-4-0 in these playoffs. His Game 7 career, though, he is 2-0. The latest Game 7 he's won was the Stanley Cup Final against Edmonton to win his first Stanley Cup. Joseph Wool's first career Game 7, a .893 save percentage for Wool. He's 3-3, trying to go 4-3 to try to get the Maple Leafs their first appearance in the conference final since the first time since 2002. Austin Matthews out there for the Maple Leafs. Top line out there, Nyes, Matthews, and Marner against the top line of the Panthers, Barkov, Reinhart, and Rodriguez. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Round 2, the 201st. Game 7's underway as it's shot back in by Florida. Game 7, McCabe, Tanev trying to clear it along the wall. Deflected into the middle. It's turned over. Barkov save! A huge chance early on for the Panthers. Barkov denied by Wool early on. And it's cleared out to center ice. A huge chance by the captain of the Panthers. And denied on the doorstep by Joseph Wool. Seth Jones with the puck now. Looking for an option. He'll pass it across. And will shoot it back in by Mikkola. Joseph Wool out to play it. Deflected off the glass by Carlo. Intercepted here. Here's Tavares moving in with Holmberg. Tavares trying to center it for Holmberg. Couldn't go. A stick in the lane right there and a 4-on-3 the other way for the Panthers. Here's Ekblad the other way. Shot from distance. Blocked away by Wool. To the point it goes. Shot deflected loose. Bennett couldn't get a stick on it. Again, it's Ekblad who looks to reload and a shot goes wide of the net. Pressure by Florida early on in the game. Not even a minute in. Ekblad rimmed it all the way around. And Riley trying to get it away. Could not. And a centering pass by Verhaeghe could not go. Holmberg looking to clear. It's held in by Kachuk. Shot blocked out in front. Here's Ekblad. He shoots over the net. Florida is 3-1 all-time in Game 7s. 2-0 on the road. Riley. Marchand gets it. Goes to the point. 6 straight Game 7 losses for the Maple Leafs. Trying to break it here at home. Verhaeghe in front. Marchand couldn't get it. A huge opportunity again. And the pressure by the Panthers continue. Kulikov shot over the net and deflected. Out of play. The Maple Leafs needed that whistle. As almost 2 minutes in, it could be a 1-0 Florida lead. And so far, the Maple Leafs have not found much offense, but the Panthers have. My goodness. Tavares is trying to get this pass across, and it went off the glove of Forsling. Wow. A good opportunity, and snuffed away there by the Panthers defense. Off the face-off, it is battled for, and Lusterinen gets it in the corner as the Toronto Maple Leafs are trying to get it out of their own zone. Benoit trying to get it out. Held in by Marchand. Shot over the net. Goes into the corner. 5 block shots already for the Maple Leafs. A turnover almost. And Lorentz gets the puck now. And the Maple Leafs look to move it up. A 3-on-2. Benoit will just dump it back in. Kulikov out to play it. Then it's Marchand. Lorentz now lying in the corner. Trying to get it. Lorentz behind the net. Trying to go back for Lon. He moved away. Kulikov trying to get it along the boards. Fished free and Marchand moves it up through the middle. Nosek will send it back in. 3-1, the shots favoring Florida. 2.5 minutes into Game 7. Maple Leafs look to move it up. That's intercepted at the blue line. Pacioretty sent back in. Jones off the wall. Here come the Panthers the other way. On the outside. Pressured off the puck was Greer. To the point, Jones shot over the net. It was blocked by Pacioretty, actually. McMahon will move it up for Domi. Poked off his stick. The other way come the Panthers, but stolen away by Domi. And McMahon trying to get it away there and could not. Greer will shoot it back in from the blue line. Game 7. This is the third Game 7 of these playoffs. 2 in round 1, only 1 here in round 2. Ekblad into the middle. Barkov across Reinhart. Fanned on the shot. Barkov behind the net. He's been hot already. And 3.5 minutes of Game 7. Shot deflected wide of the net. Barkov. The Maple Leafs just do not look ready. It's cleared out of the zone. Forsling will try to send it back in off a body. Barkov is back on side. He shoots. Saved by Wool. Matthews tried to move it up. And a little bit of pressure relieved there as the Maple Leafs have the puck again. Benoit will shoot it back in. Rimmed all the way around, or tried to. It was blocked by Bennett. Scoring chances in the game is already 2-0 in favor of the Panthers. 4 minutes in. Tavares, and it's cleared out to center. Shot back in again by Bennett. Rimmed all the way around. Verhaeghe trying to get it. Here's Jones on the backhand. Has the puck. He waits again. He'll send it across for Mikkola. Shot deflected wide of the net. Mikula again goes low behind the net. Kachuk trying to get it. Angled off by Benoit. To the point, Jones held it in on the backhand. Rimmed it all the way around behind the net for Verhaeghe. Carter Verhaeghe looking, he shoots and it was blocked. And where's the puck? Is it still in play? Mikula gets it on the far side. He shoots, saved by Wool. Jones will get it again. Panthers pressuring. Shot from distance, it's deflected wide. Loose, Wool make a save. And in the backhand it was blocked. Tavares will clear it out of the zone out to center. And already the Panthers could be up by 3 already, if not for some heroics by Joseph Wool. McCabe, loose along the boards. Kachuk trying to go short side. Verhaeghe stopped. It's loose. In the crease, it's fished away by Lawrence. My goodness, McCabe, pressure from behind. Turnover in the slot. Marchand on the backhand couldn't get it. He lost the handle. Marchand centered, could not. It's blocked. Lyon trying to get it. Not a good start. Shot save again by Wool. He's kept the Maple Leafs alive in this game already. 6-0, the shots favoring the Panthers. My goodness. Reinhart fanning on a one-timer. That would have been an open goal. Man, oh man. Has this been a domination so far by the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers? Multiple opportunities from the top guys, Barkov, Marchand, Reinhart, Bennett. It's just insane so far. Kachuk as well. They've just had so many chances. Stolar's backing up Joseph Wool here. He had 8 saves on 9 shots. And then he got pulled. Shot! Save made as he got a concussion. Riley was thrown up on the bench in game 1. Here's Kulikov, will shoot it back in. 7-0, the shots favoring the Panthers and almost turned over there. Loose along the board, Gadjevic trying to get it free. Greer trying to fight for it. The fourth line of the Panthers putting some work here. To the point, Schmidt will rim it all the way around. Intercepted by Carlo. And he'll look to clear it. Domi clears it out to center. Shot back in by Nosek. And play by Wool to Morgan Riley. 7-0, the shots favoring the Panthers early on in game number 7 here in Toronto. Stretch pass into the middle. Matthews off his skate. Wasn't clean. Here's Reinhart entering in. Dropped it off. Rodriguez. It's a little bit of a question here if Rodriguez was going to play, but he is playing tonight. On the top line with Barkov and Reinhart. 19 shot attempts to 0 so far in favor of the Panthers. To the blue line. Ekblad shoots it. Save, Wool. And we get a whistle. 8-0, the shots favoring the Panthers early on in game 7. It's scoreless. We welcome you back to Game 7 here in Toronto, Ontario at Scotiabank Arena. The defending Stanley Cup champions trying to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals for the 3rd straight year in a row. the Maple Leafs try to break their curse and try to move on. This is the first time since 2002 a full Maple Leaf square outside of Scotiabank Arena trying to get the Leafs to a Game 7 victory. They've lost 6 straight, trying to break it here. Crowd rallying here at Scotiabank Arena as the shots are early on 7-0 in favor of the Panthers. A domination so far by the Panthers, and so far the Maple Leafs have looked scared. Matthews couldn't win the faceoff against Reinhart, but it's a false start on the faceoff dot, and we'll get a whistle and restart that and reset the clock back to 13:27 in the first. It's Marner and Reinhart now on the faceoff dot on the glove side of Wool. Everyone's standing here at Scotiabank Arena more nervous than ever at Game 7. Another face-off win by the Panthers. Jones sent it deep behind the net. Barkov, Reinhart getting tangled up behind the net, and Marner picks it up now. The Maple Leafs trying to counter. They're trying to get their first shot on goal. Nyes will try to swing it back in. Jones intercepted it. And Reinhart dropped it off into the middle for Barkov. He looks to move a play there behind the net on the backhand. Rimmed it all the way around. Along the boards. Goes behind the net. Rodriguez couldn't get a stick on it. Jones trying to get it now. Loose along the boards. McCabe trying to get it free. Barkov, and now McCabe gets it again. Off the boards for Tanev. And he was looking for a play here. Signaling to McCabe. And a Tanev, a stretch pass. That could not connect for Tavares. Intercepted again. So far, the Panthers have played well in the neutral zone. Turnover here. Verhaeghe. And now Bennett just takes down one of the Leafs. Benoit. Crowd wanted a penalty. Tavares. Referees Chris Rooney and John Hebert. Tavares. And if they touch that, they're offside. They will not. They'll touch back. Stretch pass here for Verhaeghe. Looking. Shot. Deflected into the netting and out of play. Almost 8 minutes in to the first period here of game number 7. Marchand in game 7 in his career. He's played 12 of them. 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points. He's 4-0 when playing the Toronto Maple Leafs in a game 7. The recent one was just last year against the Maple Leafs in TD Garden when he played for the Bruins. And they won that game 7 with a Pasternak overtime winner, 2-1. Luostarinen trying to get it free. Loose along the boards. 2 goals for Marchand already in the playoffs. He gets taken down on the corner by Morgan Riley. Marchand kicked it for Lundell along the boards. Swinged back into the corner for Luostarinen. Pressured by Riley from behind. Marchand trying to pick up the puck. He will. He'll go back to the point. Kulikov's shot deflected over the net. Lundell trying to get it free. Marchand trying to center it. Marchand gets it again. Kulikov with the pass. Shot blocked out in front. Loose in the slot. And Lorentz moves it up now. Trying to dump it into the zone. Racing for the puck. Lorentz gets sandwiched off the puck there. And off a skate of Yarncroke, almost Kulikov turned it over. Intercept here. McCabe trying to take advantage of it as it was a bad turnover for a moment by the Panthers. Their first mistake of this hockey game. Domi will get it now and flip it back in. And then a huge hit. McMahon, got leveled. Shot over the net. Where's the puck? It's out of play. How is that not a penalty? 11:05 remaining in the first period where it's been really, really tough to get through. McCabe and Kulikov colliding there on that other chance to limit that turnover that the Panthers had. Then another hit after that, and they wanted a penalty on that one, but they did not get it. Team scoring first in Game 7's all-time, 200 of them. This is the 201st. 150 wins to 50 losses. Teams this year when scoring first, they're 0-2. Colorado scored first, or twice in a row, against Dallas. Rodriguez goes back. Jones, and it deflected wide. And St. Louis up 3-1 late against Winnipeg. And the Jets came back and won that in double overtime. Marner will get it now. Fishes into the middle for Matthews. Matthews trying to make a nice move, and the backhander just missed the net wide. The Panthers really physical as it's held in by Marner. Nyes will get it now. Makes a move. Matthew Nyes has shot it wide. Oh my goodness. Tanev will shoot it back in. What a chance. Matthew Nyes on the backhand. Wow. That was close. Holy. It wasn't even a registered shot on goal. It was a missed shot. Deflected back in. McMahon trying to get in the corner. Loose along the boards. Domi will get it. Tries to center it. Blocked away by Forsling. McMahon trying to get it now. Only one shot attempt for the Maple Leafs. Centering pass, and Pacioretty couldn't get it from Domi. Oh, that was close again. The Maple Leafs starting to get that offense potentially, as Tkachuk will send it back in. Bennett to the puck. Carlo angled him off. Bennett tried to center it. Deflected away, and Riley will get it now. Carlo will get it, and he looks to clear it. Verhaeghe held it in, and then it comes back out to center ice. More than half a period has passed here in Toronto. We're scoreless in Game 7. Behind the net is Marchand looking to center it, blocked away by Riley off his skate. Marchand gets it again along the boards. Riley intercepts that again, and he'll clear it out to center ice. Kulikov picks up the puck. He'll pass it across in a stretch pass here. A 3-on-2. Crossing the line. Marchand looking. He missed up on the shot. And then another shot goes wide of the net. Benoit trying to clear it out. He will. Out to center ice is Nylander. Potentially on a breakaway. Nylander shoots and he missed the net wide. On the far side post. Nylander gets interfered with a little bit there. Shot by Benoit. Missed the net wide. To the point, Ekman-Larsson. Pressured by the Maple Leafs. Holmberg. Pressure from behind. Trying to get the puck along the boards. Where's the puck? It's still loose along the boards. Nylander gets it free. Looking on the backhand. Pressured from behind at the blue line. Nylander makes a move. Nylander trying to get something going. Nylander denied. Bobrovsky somehow stopped him. What a chance. Sergei Bobrovsky has only faced one shot in the game, and a spectacular stop there. What a chance by William Nylander. Maple Leafs starting to turn on the offense a little bit here. So close. Pacioretty, nice. And just now, William Nylander with the chance and a blocker save by Bobrovsky. Can you believe it? We're scoreless in Toronto with 8:23 to go. We welcome you back to the Stanley Cup playoffs, a game number 7 here in Toronto. The Florida Panthers, the defending Stanley Cup champions, trying to move on to their third straight and continue the defense of the Stanley Cup. Craig Berube, the coach of the Maple Leafs, is 2-1 in his career in Game 7s, 1-0 at home. Face-off one here. Ekman-Larsson fakes the shot along the boards, rimmed it behind the net for Matthews, trying to center it, blocked off the back of the cage. And Rodriguez trying to clear it. Intercepted by Nyes. Oh, it just bounced over his stick. He could have held it in. Barkov backhands it back into the corner. Ekman-Larsson. Rodriguez trying to get it free. 8 minutes left to go in the first period. Benoit trying to get it free. And it's Nice who tries to clear it out of the zone. Barkov trying to fish it free. Still loose, and Matthews picks it up now. He'll pass it across for Marner. And a pass back for Benoit. Defensive zone, they'll get a line change here. As now it's McCabe out there with Tanev, I believe. Lorentz moves it up with Lawton and Yarncroke. Lorentz trying to make a move. He got tripped up, and a clear penalty that was not called. Lawton goes back. Wow. John Hebert and Chris Rooney are putting the whistles away here. Lawton behind the net. Centering pass off the side of the cage. Bobrovsky makes a save. So far, it has been intense in a Game 7. William Nylander robbed of that chance. What a save by Sergei Bobrovsky. That's the only shot he's faced in the game, which is insane. Bobrovsky trying to just get his team a win. Joseph Wool at the other end has been busy. 7 saves on 7 shots. The crowd here in Toronto is nervous inside Scotiabank Arena, outside Scotiabank Arena at Toronto. Riley, as the Maple Leafs won the faceoff, Nylander let it go. Behind the net on a wraparound attempt by Holmberg, poked away by Bobrovsky with a stick. A great play there by the goaltender. Here's Lundell. He shoots it. Deflected to the corner, Carlo. And he'll clear it out to center. Shot back in by the Panthers. Holmberg will get it now, and he'll pass it across. A offside whistle, I believe, or a hand pass. I'm not sure. We get a whistle with 6:53 remaining in the first period. Shots are 7-1 in favor of the Florida Panthers, as right now they have dominated play. But the Maple Leafs with the last couple of chances here, as they're starting to turn up on the offense a little bit. We will see if they can try to get the first goal, because for the Panthers, they want to get this crowd out of the picture right now and get them silent like they did here in Game 5 in a dominating 6-1 victory. They need that here again if they need one. 2-on-1. Domi trying to get it. It looked like for a moment there could have been something. Pacioretty will go back to the point. Tanev, now to McCabe. Shot! Deflected. It's loose. In the slot. Save Bobrovsky. Tanev with the puck. Backhand pass for McCabe. Back for Tanev again. Back for McCabe again. He shoots. Deflected wide of the net. Where's the puck? It's behind the net. Greer will look to clear, and he will. And it will be an icing on Florida with 6:17 remaining in the first period. Still scoreless in Toronto in Game 7. A potential 2-on-1. Schmidt had actually defensively played that well. Kulikov tingling up Lawton, I believe, and then some good saves there by Bobrovsky. Got a good one on the shoulder side. 7-2 now the shots reading. I believe the Maple Leafs have had the last 2 shots in the game. Faceoff comes out to center. And I'm not sure why. Looked like an icing, and then they don't call it an icing. That's a weird decision there by the linesmen, Devin Berg and Johnny Murray. Ekman Larson with the puck now. He'll pass it across for Benoit. Had some trouble with it. Ekman Larson back for Benoit again. Backhands it into the middle. Marner clears it out of the zone. Matthews. And it's shot back in by Knies. Here's Marner. Centering pass. Couldn't connect for Ekman Larson. On goal, so no icing. A great chance again by the Maple Leafs. Just couldn't execute it. 5.5 minutes remaining in this first period of game number 7. The shots are 8-2 in favor of the Panthers now. Here's Lawton on a breakaway. He moves in on the backhand denied by Bobrovsky. How in the world did he make a save on that? Scott Lawton came here on the trade deadline, had a golden opportunity here in Game 7, and somehow Bobrovsky stopped it. 5:27 to go. We're scoreless still, somehow. back, everybody, here in game number 7, here in Toronto, Ontario, at Scotiabank Arena. Scott Lawton with the last opportunity. Longest game 7 losing streaks. Toronto is up there, tied with Ottawa, all active in 6. Colorado leading that with 7 straight game 7 losses. The latest one being against Dallas. Shot from the point, blocked away by Bobrovsky. Comes to McMahon, denied on the rebound by Bobrovsky. Good opportunities all around in this hockey game. Sam Bennett into the zone. He waits, he delays, he shoots it over the net and out of play into the netting with 5:10 remaining in the first. So far, we just had so much good opportunities off the faceoff. It was a block shot there, and McMahon up close had a good opportunity twice. And both denied by Bobrovsky. First, the backhander, and then the rebound denied. Both goalies spectacular so far in this hockey game. 52 and 47 in his career. Sergei Bobrovsky, a .905 save percentage in his career. Played with Columbus with the Blue Jackets before coming to the Panthers. Deflected at center ice, and here come the Panthers again. Verhaeghe's shot, a low shot that goes wide. Tkachuk will get it along the boards. Bennett will get it along the boards still. Goes low for Tanev, who tries to intercept the pass. Verhaeghe as they fail to do so. Carter Verhaeghe looking. He shoots, and it was blocked out to center ice. It goes. Back into the Panthers' offensive zone here. 4:35 remaining in the first period. 13-2. The block shots favoring the Maple Leafs. Ekman Larson and then Barkov intercepts it along the boards. Pressured from behind by Matthews. Nyes will pick it up now. Marner couldn't clear it. Here's Rodriguez. He waits. He shoots, and he's denied by Wool. Reinhart goes behind the net for Rodriguez. Shot. Glove saved by Wool again. And the crowd stands up in ovation. A huge opportunity by Evan Rodriguez. Denied. They were looking to clear the puck originally, and it came for a 2-on-1 down low on Joseph Wool. As Nyes was trying to clear it, it led to a 2-on-1 basically. Rodriguez all alone, denied by Wool. Trying to make all the moves. If he waits a second more, he probably puts that in for a 1-0 Panthers lead. But instead, Joseph Wool with a huge save again. Behind the net, the Panthers won the faceoff. Nosek got it poked off his stick. Yarncroke trying to get it out. Loose to Renan, and now here's Lawton. Breakaway! Here's Lawton, and a shot. Lorentz is stopped. Oh my goodness. Lorentz with the opportunity. 2 breakaways by Toronto, and they have not scored on one of them. Another breakaway opportunity. Trying to go 5-hole that time now. And Bobrovsky made a save. Lorentz with the opportunity right between the glove, actually, and elbow area. And Lorentz is, wow, how did I not score there? Both goaltenders have been spectacular in this one so far. 3:54 remaining. The shots are 7-4 in favor of the Panthers. That onslaught early on, and now the Maple Leafs feeling it now as the Leafs hold it in the zone. McMahon pressured. Centering pass for Domi off the outside of the net. He tried to chip it in from the side of the net, and he could not do it. McMahon will go back to the point for Riley, and he'll send it across. Carlos shot. Save made by Bobrovsky. 3:34 remaining in the first period. Shots are now 7-5. Game 7. Scotiabank Arena. As tension is brewing here. A lot of the media have paid attention to this one. The last game of the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. This will determine who will be facing the Carolina Hurricanes in the Eastern Conference Final. It'll either be the defending champs or the Toronto Maple Leafs. Here's McCabe from the pass from Tanev, deflected into the netting, and out of play it goes with 3:28 remaining. Now the shots are 7-6 as they read now. A game 7, one of the best things in sports. witnessing one here is one of the best. Last year I called the Game 7 between the Oilers and the Panthers. Panthers won that 2-1 to win the Stanley Cup. One of the best almost comebacks by the Oilers, down 3-0 in the series. Chance from the blue line, Tanev now to Matthews, shot! Save made by Bobrovsky. Oh my goodness. Now the Maple Leafs have evened the shots at 7. And now they have found that offense. But Bobrovsky has stood tall so far here in Game 7. So far, it has been a tightly contested game. Wide open opportunities that have been stopped by both goalies. Matthews scored in the last game the game-winning goal in Game 6. A 2-0 win for the Maple Leafs to force this back to a Game 7 here on their home ice. Face-off won here by the Panthers. Lundell. Jones will try to clear it. Mikkola along the boards. 31-17, the shot attempts favoring the Panthers. Tavares got it stolen away by Lundell, and the other way come the Panthers. Shot back in as Marchand trying to get it. McCabe, and there's a whistle with 3:04 remaining. It might have actually hit out of play, or might have been offside, I'm not sure. But we'll get a whistle, and I believe the faceoff will come out to center ice. .304 remaining in a Scotiabank Arena that is jam-packed right now with Maple Leafs fans, sprinkled with some Panthers fans, and another thousands outside watching from Maple Leaf Square. And for you tuning in, everybody, onto the live stream, we appreciate you very much, as this is our second Game 7 of our coverage here on the NHL and MHS in the past 2 years. Riley will try to move it up, deflected back in. Loose along the boards, Tavares, and then Riley will shoot it back in with 2:50 remaining. Bobrovsky, other than that, Ekblad try to clear it. Here's Tkachuk now. He'll pass it across for Verhaeghe. That bounced over his stick, and the shot back in by the Maple Leafs again. They'll go for a line change. Ekblad will get the puck now. Slaps a pass, deflected. No icing. It got through Wool. Ekman Larson will get it now along the boards. Matthews will get it now. Pressure by the referee, who cannot allow him to play the puck, and then he gets it away, and Benoit will get it now from the pass from Matthews. Benoit will chip it back in. He got leveled at the blue line, no penalty. They're not calling any penalties so far in this game. A huge hit after that, too. Nyes tried to hold it in, and he could not. And the Panthers wanted the penalty, and they called that. Wow. Oh, wow. So they call a penalty on that. Oh, wow. Well, that's surprising.
Toronto penalty, a bench minor penalty, too many men on the ice.
It's actually a too many men penalty, so the Panthers will go to the power play. And a huge opportunity to make a 1-0 lead. We will see. Was this too many men? It was. Benoit thought he was going to go back. He was going for a line change. They'll get the call. And the first power play of Game 7. A too many men call, and Benoit probably feels so bad right now, because he made that miscommunication, and it leads to too many men for Toronto, and a power play that has been 18.2% of effectiveness, 4 for 22 in the series. Jones, he'll go back for Ekblad. 2 minutes remaining in the first period. A power play for the Panthers, trying to score first. And then a pass was fanned on it, and it's not cleared out of the zone. Jones held it in. Barkov has the puck along the boards. Pressured by Matthews with the puck. Loose, McCabe, Matthews clears it down the length of the ice. Bobrovsky lays it on a platter. Less than 100 seconds to go in the first period of Game 7. Reinhart without the puck now. Through center. Passes on the far side for Ekblad. Rimmed it all the way around. A broken stick on the ice. Goes to the point where no one was there, and Jones will go back at center ice. We'll have 6 seconds of power play time when we return to the second period if the Panthers do not score on this power play. Reinhart moves it in on side. He'll send it across for Jones. Down low, Tkachuk. Pressured in the circle by Nyes. Tkachuk will get it along the boards. In the circle now. He'll try to pass it for Ekblad that deflected off a Nyes stick. Matthews trying to get it again. Shot save made by Wool. Ekblad shot blocked. Tkachuk with the puck now. Looking. Matthew Tkachuk goes low behind the net. Reinhart, now for Barkov. A triangle formation here by the Panthers. Barkov goes low. Tkachuk back for Barkov along the boards. To the point, Jones, save! Tkachuk couldn't get the rebound. Loose, and it goes back to the blue line for Jones. Looking, shooting, save! Whoa, and it's clear down the length of the ice. An action-packed first period so far here at Scotiabank Arena. There's still 15 seconds of it. Jones will drop it off. And the Panthers look to move it in. Bennett has the puck. He shoots, and it went wide of the net. Out to center ice it goes. Penalty expires. And the Maple Leafs and the Panthers are scoreless after one here in Game 7. Crowd erupting. A first period that had multiple chances, and no one scored. This is the second Game 7 of this year where the first period was scoreless. The other one was Colorado and Dallas in the Round 1 series in Game 7 in American Airlines Center in Dallas. Huge opportunities by both teams. None went into the back of the net. We're scoreless after first, and we'll be back with the first intermission coming up next here on the Game 7 coverage of the Maple Leafs and Florida Panthers on the Eastern Conference Final. We welcome you back to the Stanley Cup playoffs. The start of the second period here in Toronto. We're scoreless after 20. Good chances all around by both teams in that first period, but nothing to show for it as we're still scoreless here in game number 7 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, round number 2. The winner of this game will move on to the Eastern Conference Final and will play the Carolina Hurricanes. Either the Panthers will not have home ice if they move on. They will not have home ice if they move on. They were the 3rd seed in their Atlantic division. The Maple Leafs, if they move on, will have home ice advantage against the Hurricanes. Matthews backhands it. Marner loose along the boards. A penalty upcoming potentially. Oh no. Oh no, it's a whistle. The referee got hit in the face. Just 13 seconds in and he's bleeding. Oh no. An unfortunate situation there where the puck or the referee, something must have happened where the referee got entangled with it. And let's see this here. Oh, right, a high sticking there by Mikkola on Chris Rooney, right into the eye. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, that is, oh, yikes. So just 13 seconds in, right around the eye, Chris Rooney, the referee, there's blood literally on the boards, and there's a stretcher being brought out now. So just 13 seconds into the second period, the referee, Chris Rooney, is bleeding from the eye, and it does not look good. There is just blood just smeared along the boards on the far side. Mikkola, who had high-sticked him accidentally, the referee got hit in the face with a high stick, and he's bleeding from the eye. And there's just blood smeared along the boards. Oh, that is, ugh. 13 seconds in, and man, that looks terrible. Oh my, he is bleeding like crazy. He's still bleeding from the eye. He's going to go off the ice. And glad he's standing, but man, Chris Rooney will be out for the game. And it looks like we're going to be down with one referee and 2 linesmen. And Mikkola inadvertently high-sticked Chris Rooney. And he is bleeding like crazy. There's just blood splattered along the boards. And it's just going to be John Bear. They clean up the blood along the boards. We got a new referee out here. Number 7. Who is that? That Wes McCauley? I don't think that's Wes McCauley. I'm not sure who that is. So we get a new referee just 13 seconds in. And, wow. That's terrible. So we have a little bit of delay here, obviously. Blood on the ice, and an unfortunate situation there. Apparently, Mikkola did not know he was high-sticking Chris Rooney. Apparently. And now we have to wait here as there's a little bit of delay. And is that Justin Bieber? That's Justin Bieber in the background behind the Leafs bench. And we wish the best for Chris Rooney. And hopefully he will get better. That just looked really bad initially. And, man, looks pretty bad. So we have a delay due to this. And unfortunately for Chris Rooney, he is just bleeding a lot of his eye area. Accidental, obviously, an eye stick, and it's just unfortunate for sure. Still cleaning around the boards. 13 seconds in. And just an unfortunate situation there. And that is just not good. Prayers up for referee Chris Rooney. Garrett Rank is here as the alternate referee, so he will be officiating now in place. So we have to continue on, obviously, but that is a fortunate situation. A lot of blood in that, unfortunately, for Chris Rooney. We send our prayers. Hope he's doing well, as such an unfortunate situation there. Face-off one here by Barkov and Reinhardt. So we have a little bit of delay of that second period start, and now we're back in it, basically. Moved almost via hand pass, and it would have whistled the play dead. They did not. Loose along the boards, McCabe, and it's deflected out to center ice. Seth Jones will pick up the puck now. Looks it up to move into the middle for Barkov. That's intercepted, and Carlo will have the puck now. Deflected back in. Icing on the Leafs. 43 seconds in. Into the second period of Game 7. So far, we've had some great opportunities in this one. Nothing has happened much, though, obviously. No scoring, but some grade A opportunities. I could have this game already up 2-1, 2-2, 1-1. Along those lines, it's been a high-chance game, as that shot by Kachuk and a rebound shot was stopped by Wool. 8-7 with the shots after the first period. The Panthers get one shot here. Stretch pass here, and Verhaeghe will beat the icing. Behind the net, he'll get it. Now into the corner. Bennett was trying to get it away there, and moved up by Tavares, and cleared it out to center ice. Tavares hasn't had much here in these playoffs. Almost held up the line by the Leafs. Carlo will pass it across for Morgan Riley. Stretch pass deflected. Back in by Tavares. Wide of Bobrovsky. Pressure by Forsling. Bennett will pass it across for Ekblad, who tries to stretch it up into the middle. Broken up, and Bennett will receive the pass off the boards. Marchand's shot wide of the net. Along the far side boards, Lorenz trying to get it free. Ekman Larson clears it out to center ice. Shot back in by Nosek. Still, no goal so far, but a turnover here. Lundell, Simon Benoit gave it up. Marchand tried to center it. No one was there in red. But the Leafs can't clear it. Yarncroke, and now a turnover by Ekman Larson. Marchand behind the net. Stick down by Wool. Here's a shot by Ekblad wide of the net. It was actually Kulikov. Now another shot. Save made by Wool. And it was loose, and the Leafs clear it to the blue line, not out. Kulikov held it in, and it's cleared out to center ice, and Yarncroke will shoot it back in. Bobrovsky out to play it. Schmidt out to play it. Deflected. Gadjevic couldn't get it. Here's Domi, who got taken down from behind. No penalty. Pacioretty. Kulikov throwing a hit on him. Loose at the side of the net. Pacioretty will send it back to the point for Tanev. Across. Fakes the shot. Another shot that was fanned on and comes out to center ice. Carlo. Only one power play in the game. Here's Greer with a chance and a save by Wool. And he gets pushy after the whistle. A.J. Greer, the fourth liner, trying to get the scoring started here in Game 7. All you need is a hero in Game 7 to win it. The top line now out there for the Panthers. Evan Rodriguez, Barkov, and Reinhardt. The matchups basically facing off each other as the top lines for both teams. Matthews, Nyes, and Marner, and Rodriguez, Barkov, and Reinhardt for their respective teams. Crowd rallying here, a flag being waved to Go Leafs Go. Crowd standing, rallying. Justin Bieber's in the building behind the Leafs bench. Shot by Barkov. Missed the net wide. Mikkola and now Nyes will pick it up now and look to move it up into the middle. Here's Matthews moving in with Marner. Poked off his stick. Marner tries to go back to the point. Gets crushed along the boards. Carlos shot. Blocked out in front. Barkov will clear it out to center ice. Rodriguez moved it up, and now potentially a 2-on-1 here. A shot. Scores! Seth Jones. 1-0 Florida. Off the rush. The Panthers have the lead in Game 7. What a shot by Seth Jones on a 2-on-1. And finally, someone has scored. Seth Jones on a 2-on-1. Rips that one in the high circle. And it's now a 1-0 Florida lead. What a shot by Seth Jones. A beautiful shot there. And good chance there, obviously. Sent back in, and now the Panthers are the lead in Game 7. But the teams that have scored first in Game 7s this year are 0-2. So does that favor the Leafs at all? And a whistle here with 16:29 to go. That's a third goal by Seth Jones this postseason, 8th of his career. Seth Jones of a huge goal for the Panthers to put him up by 1 in Game 7. Just wide open. Carlo was trying to cover, I believe it was Reinhardt on the other side. Face off at center ice. So the Leafs looking to respond. They need a response here. Forsling will move it up off the boards out to center ice. Here's a pass here for Verhaeghe into the zone. Looking, he'll send it low into the corner. Bennett, assisted by Rodriguez and Barkov on the Seth Jones goal. The first one of this Game 7. Shot back in again. Tanev will get it now. 4 minutes have passed here in the second period of Game 7. Here's Holmberg. He'll look to move it in. Tavares onside. Holmberg pressured from behind by Kulikov. Tavares will rim it all the way around. Nylander will get it along the boards to the point. Ekman Larsson's shot was blocked out in front of the net. Kulikov will move it up in a rush for the Panthers. Lundell speeding in on the far side off the outside of the net. Marchand will get it now. Shot! And it's actually a centering pass. He tried to center it for Luostarinen. Schmidt shoots! Save! Wool. Marchand waiting in the circle. Makes a move. Centering pass for Schmidt who couldn't go. He'll go back to the point for Luostarinen. A shot! Blocked out in front of the net. Pressure by the Panthers. Mikkola will send it low behind the net into the slot. Wool got knocked down in the crease. He's still deep in his crease. Domi will move it up. Moves it up. Here is Nylander. Into the zone. He shoots. Save Bobrovsky. Teams that score first in Game 7 all time are 150 and 50. And all time, 200 Game 7s. This is the 201st Game 7. Nosek shoots it wide of the net. Domi will clear it out to center ice. Race with the puck. Lorenz couldn't get it. Yarncrook tried to send it in deep. Could not. Shots are 11-8 favoring the Panthers, and they have a 1-goal lead in Game 7. Forsling faked the shot. Then the shot was blocked. Out to center ice it comes. Shot back in again. 5.5 minutes have passed here in the second period. Nothing much by the Leafs so far offensively. And maybe they need something going here. They need to get something going for sure. The Panthers playing with the lead though. Rodriguez shoots it back in. Rimmed around. Tanev with the puck behind the net. He'll pass it across. Collision there in the Toronto zone. Nyes will shoot it back in from center ice. 6 minutes have passed here in the second period. Marner trying to get it along the boards. Nothing happening here. Nyes held it in along the boards. Sends it low behind the net for Marner. Into the corner. And the Ekblad will intercept that as he was trying to go for Matthews. And out to center ice it goes. Carlo will pick up the puck now. 13:40 left to go. Benoit will pick it up. Looks to stretch it up here. Centering pass for McMahon. Try to center it across, and no one was there. Here's Bennett the other way. Intercepted at center ice by Pacioretty. Knocked down was Verhaeghe by Domi. At the blue line. A huge hit by Domi. Stretch pass couldn't connect there. No icing as Domi waved it off. Domi behind the net. Got the overtime winner in Game 2 in the Ottawa series. Trying to get one here. Verhaeghe moving in. On the far side, Tanev angling him off. 22-18 the hits favoring the Panthers. Marchand angled off the puck. Tavares moves it up for Riley. Far side, Pacioretty shoots it back in. On goal, saved by Bobrovsky. Lundell. Now Marchand speeds in. He shoots. Save. Rebound loose. Lundell. Marchand goes back to the point. Held in by Mikkola. Back for Marchand. Shot. Save. Rebound. Scores. Lundell. It's 2-0. 2 goals by the Panthers in the second period. It's 2-0 in favor of the Panthers in Game 7. Oh my, this is looking really bleak for the Maple Leafs. Their second periods have been horrible in this series, and a good setup. Marchand sets up the goal, actually. And wow. Marchand's shot from the boards. Wool made a save, and then a big rebound came to Lundell. And it's a 2-0 lead for the Florida Panthers here in Game 7. Again, Carlo's out there on the ice. His defensive partner, Riley, was not there to be seen at all. And Bobrovsky actually stretched that pass up to continue the rush. So, wow, a 2-0 lead. 2 goals in 4 minutes and 3 seconds. And the Leafs down by 2. Familiar territory in a Game 7 for them. Here is Rodriguez, a backhander that's blocked by Jones. Rodriguez again, pressure by the Panthers again. The defending Stanley Cup champions will not go away. Shot back out to center ice, knocked down. Marner will get it on the far side, along the boards, into the middle, broken up. A 2-goal lead by the Panthers. Barkov will pick it up now, into the zone. The captain of the Panthers trying to get through. Loose along the boards. We're not halfway through this game, and the Panthers up by 2 here in Game 7. The Maple Leafs do not need to let in anymore. Here's Matthews, needs to perform for the Maple Leafs. A shot blocked, goes behind the net. So far, the Panthers have just limited the great opportunities by the Leafs. Leafs still stuck at 9 shots. Carlo, off the boards. Riley tried to clear it, held in by Verhaeghe. Blocked by Riley. That defensive pairing has been brutal in this game. Benoit will pick it up now. A 2-goal lead by the Panthers here in Game 7. Lawton on the outside, centering pass, and Lorenz couldn't get it. Bennett will clear it out to center. Anton Lundell's 4th of these playoffs. Luostarinen and Marchand with the assists. Marchand's back out there again. Riley will get it now. Turn it over to Marchand. Man, Riley has not had a good game. Schmidt held it in. Oh, and Carlo gets tripped up by Marchand. No call there. With the foot. Deflected back in in the Florida zone. 10:50 remaining. Luostarinen on the outside. Waiting. Rimmed it all the way around. Nosek will get it along the boards. 4 chances in this period for the Panthers. None for the Leafs. They're stuck at 8 shots now. They removed the shot. Tavares needs to step up here. The Big Four have not had much in Game 7s in recent history. A turnover here. Here Seth Jones dropped it off. Greer's shot. Save made. Greer on the rebound. Centered. Scores! It's 3-0. Gadjevic. And the Panthers are up by 3. Second of his career, second goal of this postseason, and the Panthers with a 3-goal lead. In the second period, 3 goals in less than half a period. And now they have gotten a stranglehold on Game 7. Oh my, this just got from bad to worse. Oh boy. That is brutal. And now the Leafs are down by 3. Was this on? Oh, this is offside. This is offside. This is offside. This is offside. Clearly offside. That is clearly offside. That's what they're reviewing. But for the moment, it's 3-0. He does not. I don't think that should count. They counted it, though, and it's a 3-0 lead. Looked offside. Shot. Save made by Wool. Another chance, and Forsling hit Marner in the face, and a penalty upcoming. And Marner is down on the ice. And now he gets back up. 10:06 remaining, and I believe the Leafs are going to go to the power play. But an onslaught by the defending champs. 3 goals. They're up by 3 in Game 7. Welcome you back, everybody. A 3-0 lead. Onslaught by the Panthers. And Craig Berube is yelling at his bench. It's unacceptable. That is unacceptable so far by the Leafs. 3 goals, and he is just livid on the bench right now. The Maple Leafs down by 3 here in Game 7, and I believe we'll have a Toronto power play. Because it looked like Marner went down in a heap, and it looked like now the Leafs need to get back in this game. They need a must score. If it is a power play, I'm not sure. Jones is out there. I'm not sure if this is even a power play. Is it? I'm not even sure. Their top guys have not produced in this series. Matthews only with 1 goal off the face-off. There's not even a power play upcoming here. So it's still 5-on-5. I thought for a moment since Marner went down, there's going to be a penalty. Gadjevic with his second of this postseason. Greer and Jones with the assist. Yarncroke will send it back in. Lorenz trying to get it free. Loose along the boards. Reinhart moved up here. Another odd man rush potentially the other way for the Panthers. Shot back in. Halfway through Game 7. It's a 3-goal lead by the Panthers. The Leafs down by 3 and big. Yarncroke. Now Lorenz fan on the shot. Oh my. Well, now the Leafs, who have no shots in this period, need to get something going. They need something. They need a break. Nothing is going their way here in Game 7 so far. Domi angled off of the blue line. A 2-on-1 with Bennett and Kachuk. Bennett waits, and it poked off his stick. Benoit with a huge defensive play. Verhaeghe steals it away. Shot. Save made by Wool. To the blue line, held in. Rimmed it all the way around. Verhaeghe will get it behind the net. Centering pass stopped. Loose at the side of the net. Is it in? It's still being whacked up at the side of the net. Wool is down. Verhaeghe will go back to the blue line. Mikkola. Verhaeghe will get it again along the boards. Shot towards the net. Deflected Bennett. Wolf out of stick. Marchand behind the net. Still with the puck. Centers it for Verhaeghe. He shoots. Deflected just wide of the net. Oh my. The Panthers dominating this Game 7. This second period has been a domination. Marchand gets the puck again. Looking, centered. And Lundell will get it again. Lundell looking. He shoots. Save made. Loose. Loose to Reenan. Save. And another save by Wool. It was loose. With 8:19 remaining. And nothing going the Leafs' way. Except for that whistle. But man, the Panthers just pouring it on the Leafs. That one hitting the post. Just wide. It could have been 4-0. We back. Game 7. We're back, everybody, here at a quiet Scotiabank Arena as their Leafs are down by 3. Paul Maurice's 5-0 streak in Game 7s might be extended to 6. 4-0 on the road as a head coach throughout his career. And he's looking to go 6-0 into another Eastern Conference Final. Would be the second time they'd face the Carolina Hurricanes in the Eastern Conference Final. They did in 2023. They swept them. This year might be different with a very good Carolina squad. The Leafs still have a lot of time, but so far they look dejected. No shots on goal in the first 14 minutes of this period. McCabe will move it out to center ice. Pacioretty, only a shot in this period, actually. Barkov makes a move at the blue line. Dropped it off for Rodriguez on the far side. He'll go back to the point. Mikkola, let it go. Barkov behind the net. Angled off by McCabe. Matthews trying to get it free. Pacioretty picked up the puck now. Marner couldn't handle it. This could be Mitch Marner's last game as a Leaf, as he is an UFA after this season. Matthews will pick up the puck now, and will send it back in. Towards the goal, Pacioretty pressuring, and it's offside. It was not a penalty. Shots are now 21-8. Insane. Upcoming games, our coverage of the NHL on MHS2 as well. Conference finals begin on Tuesday, either the Panthers or the Leafs against the Hurricanes, and on Wednesday, Game 1 of the Oilers-Dallas series. Game 2 of the Eastern Conference final on Thursday, and Friday, Game 2 of the Dallas Oilers Western Conference final rematch. Thomas Harley scoring that overtime goal for the Stars to move on, and we'd like to send prayers to Scheifele's family, father passing away the day before Game 6. Centering pass in front. Verhaeghe's shot was blocked by Carlo as an open net. Oh my. Carlo might have just saved another one. Carlo will get it along the boards. Matthews trying to stretch it up. Deflected up in the air into the corner. Nice. Bobrovsky out to play it. Forsling will get it now. So far, the Maple Leafs offense has been numb in this period. Bennett, centering pass is blocked away. Now a shot goes behind the net for Verhaeghe. To the point again. Shot. Save made. Bennett will get it again along the boards. Benoit pressuring him from behind. Riley will move it up now. He'll move it in onside. Centering pass. Save made by Bobrovsky as a deflection went on goal. 14 shots by the Panthers in this period. Just 2 for the Leafs. Kachuk to Verhaeghe. It was an open net, and Carlo somehow he saved it with his butt. Plain and simple, he saved it with his butt. Oh, he just saved it with his butt. That's the only thing. He was facing away from it, and his butt just saved it. So a butt save there by Brendan Carlo prevents a 4-goal lead. Verhaeghe with that opportunity. If the Leafs were to come back, and if they really need to come back here, they we'll look back at that as maybe a game-winning save from Brendan Carlo. Lusterinen, 23 block shots by the Leafs, 8 for the Panthers. Riley shot deflected wide of the net. McMahon with the puck now along the boards. Loose along the boards, Holmberg. Domi angled from behind. Pressured, Riley. Ekman-Larsson shot. Blocked. Riley rimmed it all the way around behind the net. McMahon trying to get it free. Mikkola poked, checked away. Here's Holmberg behind the net. He'll go back, shot. Blocked out in front of the net. McCabe couldn't hold it in. Pressure there by the Leafs. They move it in again. Here's McCabe. Rimmed it all the way around. The perimeter. Lusterinen kicked it to Mikkola. Nylander pressured him from behind. 3-0. Panthers here in Game 7. Lorentz along the boards. Jones trying to get it free. Still along the boards. Jones got the first goal of this game. Then Lundell and then Gadjevic. McCabe pressured. Tanev will get it now. 5:40 remaining in the second period. The Leafs, we need one badly. On goal save by Bobrovsky on the dump in. And it gets a little bit physical after the whistle. It's Ekblad and Lawton getting together. 21-10. The shots favoring the Panthers here in Game 7. And they're up 3-0 against the Toronto Maple Leafs here in their home barn. This could be another domination like in Game 5. 3-0 Panthers. They lead with 5:34 remaining in the second period of Game 7. We'll be back. We're back, everybody, here with 5:34 remaining here in the second period of game number 7. The Florida Panthers and the Toronto Maple Leafs, a 3-0 lead for the defending Stanley Cup champions. They'd face off against the Carolina Hurricanes in the Eastern Conference Final if they get the job done here in Game 7. The Maple Leafs looking dead. They need something. Maple Leaf Square, less lively. Justin Bieber behind the bench. Won the All-Star game. 2-time Grammy Award winner Justin Bieber. Might be the curse in here in Game 7. If that's the curse. 5.5 minutes remaining here in the second period. Rodriguez will get it along the boards, angled off by Ekman-Larsson. Marner trying to get it free. This could be Mitch Marner's last game as a Leaf, as he's going to be unrestricted free agent after this season. Riley clears it off the boards out to center ice. Pacioretty couldn't get the handle on it. Whoa, and now it's Riley. He'll move it up, stretch pass, deflected. Marner intercepted here, a chance. Jones moving in on the backhand. He scores! No, it's a no-goal. Wiped out. Wiped out immediately by the referee. Garrett Rank waved that off immediately. And now a discussion. I'm not sure what he said, but I'm guessing he said no goal. And Seth Jones driving to the net. Ew, I don't know. Yeah, he kicked it in, actually. Glided it into the net. We'll see if we get a review here. I mean, this could be a goal. This could be a goal to make it 4-0. If reviewed, obviously. Joseph Wool was trying to poke check it away, and then Seth Jones' skate pushes the stick of Wool, knocks it into the net. And so with 4:59 remaining, we're going to get a review. Garrett Rank and John A. Bear reviewing the goal, and the Leafs fans just pondering here. Jones might have just scored his second of the game. We're seeing this under official review right now. We will see. They're saying goalie interference on the original call. So they need definite evidence that it is a goal. And we will see.
Get another look.
Yeah, I don't know. Jones kicks the stick of Wool and elevates the puck into the net. 4:59 remaining, and this is a big call here in the late stages of the game. Seth Jones might have just scored another one. We will see. Waved off. It is waved off by the referees Garrett Rank and John A. Bear, and still a 3-goal lead by the Panthers. The Maple Leafs need something here in the second period. Turnover here for Hagee. Now Bennett. Back for Verhaeghe. Couldn't get it. Nylander now. Maybe something here. Nothing there. Forsling moves it up. Here's Tkachuk with Verhaeghe on a 2-on-1. Tkachuk looking. He got angled off. Dropped it off. Shot. Save made. Forsling on the rebound. Save. Tkachuk will get it along the boards. Pressure from behind by Benoit. Nylander trying to clear it out of the zone. Tkachuk held it in. Here's Forsling with the pass. Shot! Deflected over the net. Comes for Forsling again. Wool was down. Here's a chance for Ekblad. He looks and waits. He'll rim it all the way around back to the point. Verhaeghe now goes back. Forsling shot. Save made. Rebound. Marchand denied on the rebound. McCabe almost intercepted. There it is. Luostarinen with the puck behind the net. Leafs fans getting tired of this. Marchand to the point. Schmidt sends it across. Kulikov looking to Schmidt again. 3:40 to go. Shot blocked out in front of the net. Off a stick. Marchand behind the net. Looking. Waiting. He shoots. Save made by Wool. Wool has been one of the only players that have showed up in this game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. 25 shots to 10. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous for the Toronto Maple Leafs in a game number 7. Their reputation in game number 7 has not been great. And it shows here. 3:32 remaining, pardon me, in this second period, and the Maple Leafs dead right now. And Craig Berube's thinking, how do I get this team back to within even a goal or two? Jones a shot. Wide of the net. Got the latest goal that got waved off, so no goal on that one. The goalie interference was the call. Held in by Rodriguez. The crowd just getting tired here. You can just see on the emotion of the faces, the facial expressions. Another icing here. It's going to be on the Leafs. Game 7. 3:12 remaining. Second period, game 7. And the Leafs have only 10 shots through 37 minutes of play. And they're just looking around, looking for answers. Nothing has been found so far. 3:12 remaining in the second period. Only 3 shots for the Leafs in the period. 17 by the Panthers in this period. Verhaeghe shoots it. Save made. We'll go back to the blue line for Jones. Another shot towards the goal was blocked. Tkachuk tried to center on the backhand. Tkachuk gets pressure from behind over the net. And Marner will flip it out to center ice. Race for the puck, Domi. Couldn't get it. Matthews intercepts that. Here's Marner moving in with some speed on the far side. Looking for an option. Makes a move. Centering pass off the outside of the net as that went off the pad of Bobrovsky. Here's Tkachuk. He'll just chip it in from the blue line. 2.5 minutes remaining here in the second period of Game 7. And a 3-0 lead by the Panthers, dominating the Leafs so far. Potentially a 3-on-2 here. They got to capitalize. Lawton couldn't get the pass from McMahon. It comes out to center ice again. That's been the problem with the Leafs all night. Here's Luostarinen trying to center it. We're running all the way around. Kulikov couldn't hold it in. Race for the puck now. Pacioretty trying to get on Kulikov positioning. Could not. McMahon knocks it down along the boards. 2 minutes left to go in the second period. They need one here. Going into the intermission, it'd be big. McCabe gets taken a little bit down there. No penalty. Schmid will move it up, and now Nosek will shoot it back in. Less than 2 to go. The crowd lifeless here at Scotiabank Arena. And I don't blame them. Not a good effort by the Leafs another time here in a Game 7 again. They have not won a Game 7 since 2004 against Ottawa. Riley will move it up into the middle. Here's Tavares moving in on the far side. Here's Holmberg on the backhand who missed it wide. Nice, trying to get it free. Could not. 80 seconds remaining in the second period where the Florida Panthers have dominated here in this period. Nice, that's swatted away. Holmberg will pass back for Ekman Larsson. 70 seconds remaining in the Game 7 where the Panthers have just dominated. In this second period alone. Shot around. Kachuk clears it out the center. Marner will get it down on the intercept. Less than a minute to go in the second period here in Game 7. Not held in. It's going to go down the length of the ice. Will it be an icing? Yes, it will be. With 50.3 remaining in the second period. And so far, it's looking at a funeral march for the Toronto Maple Leafs so far in this one. Marchand, most Game 7 appearances alongside his teammates Bergeron and Chara. Chara and Bergeron with 14. Wall with 13, I believe. Tie with him is Marchand. 50.3 remaining in the second period of Game 7, where it's just been dominated by the Panthers in a period alone. And will there be a response in the third by the Leafs? We will see. They need a goal here for sure if they want to get back in this game. Face-off won by the Leafs, but 1-2 cleanly, and Verhaeghe clears it out to center ice. McCabe now will get it. Pressured by Verhaeghe from behind. Ekman Larsson looking to clear the puck around. Domi chips it out to center ice. Forsling will shoot it back in. 35 seconds remaining in a Game 7 second period. Lawton shoots it. Save made. Cleared out of the zone. Race for the puck. Ekman Larsson and Luostarinen tying him up with 22 seconds remaining. Held in by Nosek. He has the puck. He shoots it. Blocked. Ekman Larsson with 15 seconds remaining. Trying to clear it out of the zone. 13 to go. Passes it across for Tanev along the boards. 8 seconds to go. Pass going to connect for Lorentz. That's going to be no offside. 4 seconds now. Time ticking in here in the second period. A 3-0 lead into the locker room. And a Game 7 has just been dominated by the Panthers here alone in the second period. They're up by 3. They're 1 period away from going back to the Eastern Conference Final for the third straight year. We'll have our intermission report coming up next. What is wrong with the Leafs and what can they do to try to come back in a Game 7? We have seen crazy Game 7s in these playoffs. Maybe the Leafs can pull one here. But a 3-0 lead for the Panthers after the end of the second period. Gadjevich, the latest goal scorer, and pain on the faces of the Leafs fans. We'll be back.
last two were.
We welcome you to our intermission report. It's a 3-0 lead for the Florida Panthers here over the Maple Leafs. Seth Jones starting the scoring with his third of the playoffs at 3:15 of the second. A blocked shot from the blue line by Carlo. And then a 2-on-1, and Jones just buries that one behind Wool, and it's a 1-0 lead. 4 minutes later, 4 minutes and 3 seconds later, Lundell on a wrist shot beats Joseph Wool on the rebound. Marchand's initial shot, and then Lundell wide open. Wool couldn't make the save for 2-0. Gadjevic, 2 minutes and 21 seconds later, another wrist shot. This one off a play. It's intercepted. Nylander stole away the puck, and then Greer's initial shot, and then a rebound centered. And Gadjevic makes it 3. Count that, 3-0. Florida, the defending Stanley Cup champions, could be well moving on against the Carolina Hurricanes in the Eastern Conference Final. The Western Conference Final is the rematch from last year. Edmonton and Dallas. That's going to be a good one for sure. And I'm a Dallas fan, so screw the Oilers. And, I mean, I want the Stars to win, though. Yeah. We'll see if the Toronto Maple Leafs will try to make a comeback. They need to, for sure. They have to. They only have 12 shots. They only had 5 shots in that second period, 17 by the Panthers in the second. That is pretty bad. Let's look at the plus minuses here, the box score for the Maple Leafs. Let's see the plus and minuses right now. I want to see that. Nylander's a -2. Tavares is a -2. Matthews is a -2. Nyes is a -2 or 1. No, Matthews is a -1. Nyes as well, and Marner. Holmberg's a -2. Nylander is a -2. Tavares is a -2. For the defensemen, Brendan Carlo is -3 in the game. Riley with -2. McCabe -1. And Wool right now is at an .880 save percentage, but he has not been the problem. It's the offense for the Leafs. They have not been able to find any offense and get through the Panthers, who have just been dominating since that second period started. All these players are almost +1s. Kachuk, Rodriguez, and Bennett are the only players as forwards that are not a +1. They're at 0 right now. +2 by the Seth Jones, 1 goal. Had another one wiped out. Mikalo +2. +1 for Forsling. Schmidt +1. And Bobrovsky's only faced 12 shots, and he stopped all of them so far in this game. A potential. This could be just it. This could be it. The Panthers could just stroll to a victory. Or will the Leafs put up a fight and potentially tie this game? We have seen crazy third periods in the Game 7 in this playoff year. I will not suspect that we'll see another great one for sure. We will see. We'll see you in the third period as the Maple Leafs and the Panthers in Game 7 in Scotiabank Arena. Can the Leafs come back from 3 down in Game 7, or will the Panthers hold on to the defending Stanley Cup champions? We'll be back. We welcome you back to Game 7, the Stanley Cup playoffs. 3-0 is the sign of Maple Leafs score. It would be very nice with the prop. Okay, well, corny signs outside of the Scotiabank Arena and not so much smiles on the outside on Maple Leafs fans' faces as they booed their Maple Leafs off the ice after that atrocious second period. The Panthers, the defending Stanley Cup champions, up by 3. We're underway in the third period. Panthers trying to close it out here in Game 7. The Leafs trying to make an improbable comeback. Here's Barkov getting angled off here by Holmberg. Barkov still with the puck, though. Behind the net is Rodriguez with the puck. He'll rim it all the way around to the blue line. Mikkola held it in. Rodriguez, and now it's Barkov with the puck. Got taken down by McCabe, and it's flipped out to center ice. Icing on the Leafs. 31 seconds in. So far, it has not been a very good game. Early on in the game, Chris Rooney got high-sticked. Haven't had an update on that for sure. We haven't had an update of that at all on what happened to him. Garrett Rank replaced him in this game. Then after that, 3 Panthers goals. They're up by 3 here in Game 7 in Toronto. Ekblad will send it into the corner. Kachuk tried to center it. Here's Verhaeghe back to the blue line. Ekblad sends it across, sends it low. Rimmed all the way around McCabe. Verhaeghe. Ekblad rimmed it around, that deflected out of play. 57 seconds into the third period. 25-12, the shots favoring the Florida Panthers. And they've dominated since that second period explosion of goals. Lundell, one of the goal scorers, alongside Gadjevic and Jones. Ekblad, as the Panthers continue to look for more. The Leafs trying to get some energy back on their side. Held in, shot, save made from distance. Benoit will move it up. Tavares will chip it in. Nothing going for the Leafs so far. They only have 12 shots through 40-plus minutes. Save by Bobrovsky that rolled towards the front of the net. 18:39 remaining in the Toronto season. Unless the Maple Leafs were to have a miraculous comeback here in the third period. We have seen wacky stuff in these Game 7s, especially in these playoffs. Colorado up by 2 in Game 7 against Dallas. On their home ice, Dallas won that one 4-2. Rantanen's hat trick. And then the Jets tying it with 1.3 seconds left, and then winning it in double overtime to eliminate the Blues in the first round in Game 7. Ekman Larson will pick up the puck now. A minute and a half has passed by here in the third period. Nothing has developed for the Leafs. They've only had 1 shot on goal already in this game, or in this period. Pardon me. Jones, one of the goal scorers, could have had 2. The other one was for goalie interference, so a no goal. Domi, pressure from behind. He'll go back to the blue line. Benoit sends it across. Carlos' shot through traffic was blocked by Reinhart. And Jones will clear it out to center ice. And Rodriguez. And now Domi is in. He shoots, scores! The Leafs are back in it. Max Domi cuts the deficit to 2. And it's not over yet. An early goal by the Leafs. Max Domi has gotten the Leafs within 2. And Game 7 is far from over. A great play, a stretch pass, and Domi puts it in on the 5-hole of Bobrovsky. And the Leafs are back in it. And Bobrovsky, 2 minutes and 7 seconds in, the Leafs are back in this game, and maybe a little bit of hope. Back in the crowd at Scotiabank Arena. McCabe picks up the puck now. Tanev will go back. Can the Leafs get some momentum off of that Max Domi goal? McCabe, and it's stretched up here. Race for the puck, Pacioretty. No icing here, or it is called icing for some odd reason. I'm not sure. I thought it deflected off a stick. But the Leafs now within a goal, or within 2 goals, but they get a huge goal in this third period to get within 2. McMahon with a great pass. Domi was behind the defense, and a huge play there on that stretch pass. And Max Domi rips that in. Ty Domi's in the building. No reaction, though, from his father. And the Leafs are back in it in Game 7 on their home ice, trying to make a great comeback if they can. A step further now. We got a delay on the ice here. I'm not sure what. There's something on the ice. Something got thrown on the ice, I believe. Some raisins. Something like that. I'm not sure what got thrown on the ice. Crowd still rallying. Hopefully hoping their Leafs can get back in this game, as Max Domi, the latest goal scorer for the Leafs, has made it a 3-1 game in Game 7. And 2-goal leads in these Game 7s in the third period have not been safe. Will be the third time that this happens in a Game 7 in this playoff year. Third of the playoffs by Domi. McMahon with the main assist. And the Leafs are back in it. Stretched up to the middle. Here's Pacioretty, poked off his stick, deflected into the corner. Loose along the boards, nice, couldn't get it away. Lundell and Marchand moves it up. Maybe a 3-on-2 for the Panthers. Marchand trying to center it, intercepted by Ekman Larson. Loose to Arena, now Ekman Larson went down on the tumble. Shot by Marchand, deflected, score! Loose to Arena, deflects it in. A 3-goal lead back for the Panthers. It's 4-1. And just when you thought the Leafs were going to get momentum, the Panthers respond, and it's 4-1. And immediately, that sucks the energy right out of Scotiabank Arena again. That deflection on the short side, Wool lets that one in, and now it's a 4-1 lead for the Panthers. The defending Stanley Cup champions are back up by 3. Luostarinen with the goal, his 8th of his career, 3rd of this postseason. Not even 3 minutes in, it seemed like the Leafs are going to get energy right back. Instead, the Panthers respond like champs and make it a 4-1 lead. McCabe deflected back in. Game 7. Looked like the Leafs are going to get back in it. Huge play there. Trying to get the puck again. Lawton. Loose along the boards. Lawton trying to center it. And it flipped out to the blue line. It's held in for a moment. Deflected back in by Barkov. Wide of the goal. Tanev with the puck now. Reverses it for Lawton. Trying to move it up instead of a turnover. Shot by Rodriguez. Fired wide of the cage. 16 minutes left to go in the third period here of Game 7. That deflects into the Leafs bench and out of play with 16:18 remaining in the third period of Game 7. Marchand's shot. He has 2 assists in the game. It's actually a shot pass to Luostarinen. And we have a commenter in the live chat, Joe Metzger. I hope I said that right. Cowboy here from freaking Fort Lickerdale. My response to the Canucks, hey, is all rats. And a bunch of rat emojis. I think he put that really well. Ekman Larson deflected back in by Matthews. It goes out of play instead. 15:52 remaining in the Game 7, where the Leafs look like they're going to get some energy back on their side. Instead, they couldn't. Tuesday, we'll start the Eastern Conference Final. Leafs, Panthers, Carolina will face them off. Wednesday, the beginning of the Western Conference Final, the Oilers and the Stars. Friday, they'll have Game 2 of the Western Conference Final, and the Eastern Conference Final, Game number 2, will be on Thursday. Leafs crowd trying to rally their team from a 4-1 deficit. This is where they were in 2013. Can they do a reversal? They were up 4-1 against Boston. And now they have a chance to reverse that here. Riley, shot, loose, and it's blocked. Nylander couldn't get the rebound. Could have made it 4-2. We'd have an onslaught of goals already in this third period, like we did in the second. On the outside, a shot, save made by Wool. And that's 23 stops on 27 shots for Joseph Wool. And Riley's shot, Nylander couldn't get it through the 5-hole. Oh, that was close. He looked like he had it open, but he delayed on the shot, and then Lundell actually blocks that with his skate. Frustration settling here for the Leafs for sure. Nylander just stunned. Leafs, if they don't win this game, will lose 7 straight. Game 7s in a row. Active streak. They've lost 6 straight. Lawton gets it back. Gadjevic tried to poke it away. The Leafs touch that. They're offside. They touch back, though. Gadjevic will send it back into the corner. Tanev will get it now. Along the boards. McCabe. Mikkola will get it now. 14.5 minutes to go in the third period. Matthews will try to get it along the boards. Comes out to center ice. Will that be an icing on the Panthers? No icing. Waved off. The time is just ticking and ticking off the Leafs' season's clock. The Panthers up by 3 again. Domi made it 3-1, but then that one stopped by Bobrovsky. Lusterinen deflects a Marchand shot, and it's a 4-1 lead for the Panthers here in Game 7. They're 2-0 on the road in Game 7s in franchise history, trying to make it 3. Justin Bieber just on his phone now, as he has just seen enough. A brutal goal to give up right after the Domi goal. 14-13 to go. Face-off one here. Marner's with Domi and McMahon now. It looked like for a moment. And then Marner went out to the bench. Looked like maybe some line juggling potentially by Craig Berube. McMahon forced off the outside. Forsling will get it now. Pressured, and the Panthers will move it up again. Here's Bennett. Chipped it in. Ekman Larson trying to get it away. Bennett gets to the puck first. Kachuk let it go through. Ekblad. Kachuk lets that go through as well. Kachuk is denied. Out to center it goes. Nylander lost his footing for a moment. Couldn't get the pass. He was going for a line change either way. Verhaeghe sent it in deep. Kachuk trying to get to the loose puck. Ekman Larson. Or pardon me, Matthews. Ekblad's shot. Save made by Wool. 13:24 remaining in a Game 7. Florida is dominated. Third period. Panthers 13-24 away from an Eastern Conference final date with the Carolina Hurricanes. Domi brought some life back to the building. Lusterinen kills it. 4-1. Panthers in Game 7. We welcome you back. Game 7, Scotiabank Arena. Looks pretty dead right now. With 13:24 remaining, the Panthers have scored 10 goals in the past 2 games here in Toronto in this series. Most playoff points versus Toronto, Marchand with 36. 4-0 in series versus Toronto. 2 assists tonight here in Game 7. The all-time leader, Gordie Howe with 53, the Detroit Red Wings. Alex Del Vecchio with 35 and Henry Richard with 33. So Marchand passing Del Vecchio. And it's a 4-1 lead for the Florida Panthers. Shot saved, made by Wool. Ekblad will rim it all the way around behind the net. Ekman Larson will clear it out to center ice, and Marner will move it up. Marner banks it off the boards. Nothing going there. Here's Riley's shot, deflected off a body. Tavares will try to get it, and it clears out to center ice again. Crowd is semi-full still at Scotiabank Arena. Game 7 of this series. Florida leading it by 3. Potentially almost a too many men there. Toronto has not had a power play in this game. Florida has had 1. None power play goals in this game. Tavares was trying to get it, and he could not. Pacioretty. McCabe loose along the boards. Barkov. Tavares trying to center it. Blocked away. Cleared out of the zone. No, it's not. Held in by McCabe for a moment, and then it's cleared on the second attempt. McCabe will send it back in. Touch back was Pacioretty. 12:20 to go in the third. Game 7. 4-1 Panthers. And they are trying to cruise to a victory here in Game 7. Yarncroke. Pacioretty tries to move it in on side. He got taken down. No penalty by the referees. They have not called a penalty on Florida this whole game. The crowd is restless and tired and frustrated. Yarncroke. Then Lawton trying to get it. Goes back. Benoit sends it across. Lorentz sends it in. Lorentz centered. It was blocked. Off the outside of the net. Yarncroke trying to get it free. Kachuk trying to get to the loose puck. Riley got there first. Lorentz to the blue line. Riley across. Shot deflected over the net. Loose. Lyon over the net on the rebound. And it comes back out to center ice. 14 shots by the Leafs here in Game 7. 27 by the Panthers. And with less than 12 minutes to go in the third period of Game 7. Here's Nylander moving it in on the outside. Trying to get through. Nylander. Now McMahon behind the net. Goes back for Riley along the boards. Maybe something here. A shot. Loose. Lawton couldn't get it. The other way, a race for it. Greer trying to get behind the defense on Riley. Greer trying to make a move and it's poked away. Domi gets the puck now. Moves it up for McMahon, who dumps it back in. Got high sticked and no penalty. Maple Leafs fans enraged. Saw some birds being flipped up too. Shot save made by Wool with 10:39 to go. And that could have been potential 2 penalties there by the Panthers that were not called by Garrett Rank or John Hebert. 10:39 to go in the third. Game 7. 28-14. The shots favoring the Panthers. And for the Leafs, another potential Game 7 loss again. And that looked like a hook. I don't know how they got away with it. Yeah, that looked like a punch to the face, actually. Maybe the stick of the lower stick part of that Florida player got the piece of it. Another goal! What in the world? It's 5-1. I did not see the angle of how that went in. Sam Reinhart has just scored. 4th goal this postseason. 25th of the career. And somehow just immediately TNT just forgets to show the goal. Sam Reinhart off the faceoff makes it 5-1 Panthers. And puts an onslaught on the Toronto Maple Leafs. So it's now a 5-1 game. So this is just a quick shot off the face-off, apparently. We did not even get to see a live angle of this. Man. Glove side. And the Panthers up by 4, their biggest lead of the night. Face-off one here by the Leafs, and now they're down by 4 in Game 7. Riley gets it now. He'll pass it across, and now this just feels like a funeral for the Leafs. Lyon will shoot it back in. Lorentz trying to get it free. Greer trying to get it free still, and then it's flipped out to center ice. Reinhart with his 4th of the postseason. Barkov with the assist. And that should put the end of the things here for sure. I believe the Florida Panthers will move on. And they'll go on to the Eastern Conference Final against the Carolina Hurricanes. Unless something happens here. Shot! It's loose! And it's a jersey was thrown onto the ice. I believe. I saw a jersey fly. Maple Leafs fans not liking it. Nye's got it stolen away by Kachuk. Bennett. And a whistle here with 9:39 remaining in the third period. Reinhart, the latest goal scorer. We didn't even get to see the goal, but hey, whatever. 5-1 Panthers in Game 7. We're back, everybody, and from the words of Keegan Edgerton, Leafs will never make it past the second round. What a joke. Love it. And let's go. From our chat here on the live stream, it's a 5-1 Panthers lead here in Game 7. Domi, the only goal scorer for Toronto, made it 3-1 at that point, and it looked like the Leafs were going to get some momentum back on their side. But instead, Lusterine deflects a shot in, and it's 4-1, and then everyone on the TV just missed the goal, and Reinhart puts it in to make it 5-1. Florida Panthers lead playoffs in goals 11 and points 27 by defensemen. They have gotten some offense from their defensemen, and this crowd's still here with 9:39 remaining. Their Leafs down by a lot here in Game 7. And Dorian said, shut up. Leafs can still make a comeback. That centering pass. Domi, another shot. Glove save by Bobrovsky. Have scored 11 of the last 13 goals at Scotiabank Arena. The Florida Panthers. Dorian, if you think the Leafs can come back, what do they got to do? Because right now they don't look good at all. They look mentally checked out. And Matthews not saying anything, the captain of this Maple Leaf squad, not saying anything on the bench. There's nothing going on here for the Leafs. They need a major comeback in the last 10 minutes of Game 7. McCabe, and it's not held in. Riley. Now McCabe again. Off the boards, deflected back in. Domi. Behind the net. Pressured. Domi the only goal scorer. McCabe. Now Reinhart flips it out to center ice. Riley will get it now. Circles back and waits, and he'll drop it out for Benoit. 9 minutes remaining in the Game 7, where the Panthers have just dominated. If the Leafs can come back, it's one of the most miraculous comebacks in Stanley Cup playoff Game 7 history. Here's Bennett on the backhand. He missed the net wide. Forsling shot wide of the net as well. Marner, Verhaeghe, and now Matthews picks up the puck now. Moving in with some speed on side, stolen away. That's been Matthews all playoffs. Past the second round of his career. Nothing showing there. The only big goal was in Game 6 of the series. Only goal past the second round, I believe, for Austin Matthews in his career. Matthews moves it up for Pacioretty with Holmberg. Shot wide of the net. Holmberg goes behind. 8 minutes remaining in Game 7. Bouncing puck McCabe. Tanev looking. Pressured off the boards. Here's Tavares, makes a move. Poked off its stick, and McCabe will go behind the net for Pacioretty. Max Pacioretty angled off the puck by Holmberg, and now Tavares behind the net. Still loose behind the net, and Nosek will move it up with 7:45 remaining in the third period. Chipped back in. The Panthers iced. No, did not ice the puck. 15 shots in almost 53 minutes for the Leafs in Game 7. Not a good strategy. Here's Marchand behind the net. Pressured from behind by Ekman-Larsson. And with 7:20 remaining, a huge hit along the boards. McCabe. Fans starting to leave here at Scotiabank Arena as it starts to empty. Jones centered. Loose to Renan. Couldn't get it. Now at 3-on-2 for the Leafs. Maybe something here. Lorentz now to Lawton. Back for Lorentz. A shot. Blocked out in front of the net. Carlo will pick up the puck now with less than 7 minutes remaining in the Game 7. It's been dominated by the Panthers, the defending Stanley Cup champions, 7 minutes away from continuing the defense of the Stanley Cup. Benoit on the outside. He shoots and was blocked along the boards. Nylander loose along the boards still. Goes back. Domi's shot. Wide of the net on the net. Benoit picks up the puck now from the pass from Carlo. Carlo gets it back. 6.5 minutes remaining in the third period. Benoit will circle back again. Probably some boos raining here from the Toronto crowd as nothing has been able to get going here in Game 7. Nyes will chip it back in. Lorentz will get it now. Or pardon me, Marner. Nyes now will go back to the point. Riley, he shoots over the net. Fans starting to leave again. Marner, shot. Wide of the net. Marner's last game potentially as a Leaf. Held in, Nyes gets the puck now. Goes low into the corner. Matthews got taken down. Off the outside of the net, Bobrovsky doesn't know where the puck is. Comes into the slot. It's cleared out of the zone with less than 6 minutes to go in the third period of Game 7. Tanev passes it across for Riley. He'll shoot it back in from center ice. Mikkola got through two. Cleared out of the zone again. 5.5 minutes remaining in the Game 7 here at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario. Domi, now Nylander cutting through. Nylander lost the handle. Centering pass. Got through everybody. Ekman-Larsson. Now McCabe. He shoots. It was blocked out in front of the net. Domi centering past McMahon and a shot. Blocked out in front of the net. Up in the air. Touched via high stick of the Leafs. Touch it again. McCabe will get it now with 5 minutes remaining in the third period of Game 7. 5-1 Florida. They're out shooting the Leafs 30-17. Matthews denied on a chance there. Rebound centered. And no. Nothing. Benoit. Pass across. McCabe. Stretching it up here. Nyes has it. Poke checked away. And now race for the puck here. Greer. Intercepted there. Gadjevich will shoot it back in on the backhand. Out of play into the netting with 4.5 minutes remaining in the third period of Game 7. Marner's potential last game as a Leaf. He knows it, potentially, as he feels it on the bench. Toronto fans are feeling it. Matthews just in disbelief. Fans in disbelief. Game 7, 4.5 minutes away from ending. We're back, everybody. Third period. 4.5 minutes remaining in the third period. It becomes a question if Berube even tries to pull wool at all in this game. I'm not sure if he will, because there has not been much offense for the Leafs past the first period. And Paul Maurice's streak, 5-0 in Game 7s, going to be extended to 6-0 in Game 7s. If he wins this one and holds on, his Panthers have a 5-1 lead in Game 7 here at Scotiabank Arena. And becomes a question, what does this core have left? Marner potentially leaving after this season. He might not get re-signed. Joseph Wool to the bench. Empty net for Toronto. Extra man out there. Putting everything on the line here. Rodriguez held in. Shot! Riley shot it wide of the net. Reinhart. Now Barkov tried to clear it. Not out yet. Matthews. Now it's Tavares who let it go for Nylander behind the net. Mikkola intercepts. Nylander behind the net. Got taken down in the process. Tavares will get it now. Along the boards. Pressure from behind. Reinhart. Jones, and now it's Barkov. Matthews couldn't get it. Reinhart trying to go for that empty net. Not cleared out yet. Loose along the boards. Tavares. Now Marner sends it into the slot. Domi couldn't get the stick on it. Here's a chance for Rodriguez to clear it out of the zone. He got taken down. Or he got a little bit held up there. No penalty. Marner with the puck now. 3.5 minutes to go in the third period. Pacioretty. We'll drop it out for McCabe. Last chance here for Toronto. They're down by 4. McMahon got taken down in the process. Forsling will look to clear down the length of the ice. Marner gets it now again in front of the empty cage. Another jersey thrown on the ice. 2 Maple Leafs jerseys have been thrown on the ice again. Pacioretty, the Leafs with a 2-0 series lead in this series. Empty net try for Marchand. He scores! Brad Marchand with a 3-point game. And it's 6-1. The Toronto Killer strikes again. Third goal this postseason. 59th of his career. And an empty net goal to seal the win here in Game 7. A 6-1 Panthers lead. Right bullseye into the empty net. The Leafs are going to be kicking themselves now. They were up 2-0 in the series. They were so close to going up 3-0. Marner trying to keep himself calm on the bench. Leafs fans start to leave the building. Less than 3 minutes to go in a Game 7 where the Panthers got one period of good hockey. Here's Benoit. He'll shoot it. And Bobrovsky makes the save with 2:46 remaining in Game 7. Craig Berube, in his first year with the Toronto Maple Leafs, forced this team to the second round against passing the Ottawa Senators in that first round series in 6. Toronto still with the Game 7 curse. They're going to go 0-7 in the past 7 Game 7s that they played. 7 straight Game 7 losses. No 6 shot save made by Wool. 2:33 remaining in the third period of Game 7. 32-20. The shots favoring the Panthers. And just stunned faces on the bench. Disappointment. Of course, the Leafs forced this to a Game 7. There's Shanahan shaking his head in disbelief. Is the Shanahan plan going to be put away? Is Shanahan going to get fired? Will they lose Marner? 2:33 away from this season being over for the Maple Leafs, and the Panthers continuing to find new ways to try to get back in games. Save made by Wool if it was scrambling towards the front of the net. And I believe a beer has been thrown on the ice. Some liquid on the ice now. 2:20 remaining in a Game 7. Been dominated by the Panthers. 6-1 again in this building for the Maple Leafs. They lost 6-1 in Game 5. They're about to lose 6-1 or even worse, 7-1 if the Panthers were to score again. That's touched via high stick with 2:15 remaining. And the time just slowly ticking. Justin Bieber just losing it. Everyone on the Toronto bench is stunned. Their 7th straight Game 7 loss is about to happen in 2 minutes and 15 seconds away from it. Leafs fans start to leave the building. It's empty in this Scotiabank Arena. Nylander moves it in. On the outside behind the net, tries to center it. And that was in the slot where McMahon couldn't get a shot away. Held in. Carlos shot over the net and is actually saved by Bobrovsky into the glove with 1:56 remaining. So, the Dallas Stars at the Edmonton Oilers. That'll be the Western Conference Final. And if the Panthers hold on with 1:56 to go, it'll be the Panthers and the Hurricanes, a rematch of the 2023 Eastern Conference Final, where we saw a 4 overtime game in Game 1. Will that happen again? Because a lot of stuff is rematches here in these playoffs. Shot from distance was blocked. Benoit on the backhand, centering pass off the center of the cage. Lawton trying to get the puck. Could not with 1:40 to go. Rodriguez moved it up and now Yarncroke. Oh, that's beer on the ice. I believe that is beer on the ice. Just thrown onto the ice in frustration. The Leafs fans have witnessed their team lose 7 straight Game 7s. They have not seen them win a Game 7 since 2004, and it will stay that way for at least another year. Jones flips it out to center ice. Carlo will have the puck now. In the final minute of the third period here in Game 7, the Leafs down by 5. Pacioretty, and that's broken up there. Nosek, less than a minute to go in Game 7. Blocked away there. Turned over. Greer. And then Holmberg gets it back. Pacioretty clears it out to center ice. Kulikov deflects it back in. 40 seconds to go. McCabe deflects that back one into the corner. 30 seconds remaining in the third period. Game 7 coming to a close here for the Panthers. Backhanded back in by Lundell. 20 seconds to go. Not much fans left here in the building. 15 seconds away from the Eastern Conference Final for the Florida Panthers. Their defense of the Stanley Cup continues as they go to the Eastern Conference Final for the 3rd straight year in a row. A 6-1 win for the Florida Panthers. Their 3rd straight year, their 4th overall. They will face the Carolina Hurricanes in the Eastern Conference Final. That'll start on Tuesday. A Game 7 that had been dominated by the Florida Panthers. Questions now for the franchise as a whole for the Maple Leafs. Maurice and Berube exchanging handshakes. Every coach now exchanging handshakes. Florida wins the series 4-3. The Leafs were up 2-0 in the series. They blew it. They blew 3 straight. They forced a Game 7. They won Game 6 2-0. Marchand shaking hands with familiar faces again as he beats the Leafs once again. He's 5-0 against the Leafs in a playoff series. And the curse continues for another year. The Leafs have not won the Stanley Cup since 1967. And it'll stay that way for another year. The Florida Panthers will move on, continue the defense of the Stanley Cup, and a challenge with the Hurricanes, who have been very good and just knocked out the Washington Capitals in 5. The best team in the East in the regular season. Stolarz got injured in Game 1. Bennett knocked them out of the series. The Panthers are going to win this game, and they've won it already. And just emotions. Man, this is just brutal for the Maple Leafs. And great for the Panthers as they continue the defense as the defending Stanley Cup champions will move on and will survive another round. And they continue on in the Stanley Cup playoffs. He's won 3 consecutive seasons in the Game 7 as, wow, Ottinger as well, with Lundqvist as well. Stolarz, former teammates with Bobrovsky in Florida. They won a cup together, and Bobrovsky gets the upper hand in this one. The Maple Leafs, their season's over.
More boos from the home crowd here in Toronto. As the Maple Leafs
6-1, Florida. In the Game 7 with
Florida Panthers.
The Florida Panthers do it again. They find a way to come back in a series. 6-1, a dominating Game 7. Marner potentially played his last game as a Maple Leaf in this game. And just brutal. Well, that'll do it for us. The Western Conference Final coverage will be on Wednesday with the Stars and the Oilers, and then Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final on Tuesday. We'll see you next time. A 6-1 dominating effort in Game 7 by the defending Stanley Cup champions, who will continue to try to defend their Stanley Cup. We'll see you next time with Game 1 of the Stars and the Oilers. We'll be back, and we'll see you next time.